Welcome to The Explainer, where we break down the big forces shaping our world. Today, we're diving into something that seems simple, but isn't. We're talking about why one currency getting stronger can literally send shockwaves across the entire global economy.
So, let's just start with a question. How can a single number, something you might just glance at on a news site, end up turning entire economies completely upside down?
Yeah, this one number, it can actually change how much you pay for your morning coffee, especially since those beans are probably imported.
And get this, it can even affect your job security, depending on what industry you happen to work in.
Oh, and for sure, it can decide whether that dream vacation is a total bargain or completely out of reach. Yep, we're talking about the exchange rate. So in this explainer, we're going to trace its huge ripple effect, starting from the top, global policy, all the way down to what's in your wallet.
So, where does all this start? Well, it all kicks off with the tale of two policies, a real clash between two of the world's economic heavyweights that basically lit the fuse for all this chaos.
Okay, so on one side of the ring, you've got the U.S. Federal Reserve. They've been jacking up interest rates like there's no tomorrow, all to fight inflation. And on the other side, the Bank of Japan, which is doing the exact opposite, keeping rates near zero, trying to get their economy humming again.
And this huge gap in interest rates, it acts like a giant, powerful magnet for money. All this global cash gets pulled out of Japan where it's earning next to nothing and gets poured into the U.S. where it can get a much better return. The result? A super strong dollar and a seriously weak yen.
Okay, but listen, this isn't just about numbers on a trader's screen. No way. The very first ripple from all this hits you right where it hurts, at the checkout counter. So how does that work exactly? Well, there's this key idea called exchange rate pass-through. It sounds complicated, but all it really means is how much of a currency's change in value actually gets passed through to the price tag you see on stuff you buy from other countries.
Okay, so let's walk through a real-world example. Say you're in Japan and you want a new smartphone. The yen gets weaker, right? That means the imported parts needed to build that phone suddenly cost a lot more. The manufacturer's profit margin gets totally squeezed. So what do? They have to pass that cost on to you, the consumer. And just like that, the price of that phone goes up.
And check this out. Businesses don't just sit there and take it. They get smart. They play this strategic game called leads and lags. So for instance, if an importer in Japan thinks the yen is going to get even weaker, they'll pay their foreign bills early. They lead to lock in today's better rate. But an exporter, they'll do the opposite. They'll wait, they lag, before converting their foreign money back to yen, hoping the rate gets even better for them.
But the ripple effect doesn't just stop with the price of stuff. It keeps going, getting wider, and hits something even more personal: your job and your paycheck. You know, some research from the New York Fed uncovered something pretty shocking. A strong dollar, it actually gives a tiny little boost to the wages of high-skilled workers. But, and this is a huge but, for low-skilled workers who have to switch jobs because of these pressures, it's a disaster. Their wages get hammered. And this is what economists call a K-shaped economy. It's a perfect visual. The top arm of the K, that's the high-skilled workers and the big tech exporters. It's going up. But the bottom arm of the K, the traditional industries, the lower-skilled jobs, it's heading straight down. And this isn't just a theory. You can see this exact K-shape playing out right now in places like Taiwan. Their high-tech sector is absolutely on fire. We're talking record overtime, rising salaries. But at the same time, in the very same country, traditional manufacturing is cutting hours and wages are totally stuck. It's like two different economies living side by side. Okay, so the next wave in our ripple effect crashes right into the world of high finance. We're talking billion-dollar debts. But don't zone out, because this all circles right back to something you definitely care about: where you can afford to go on your next vacation. See, big-time investors play this game called the carry trade. The idea is actually pretty simple. You borrow money in a currency where interest rates are dirt cheap, like the Japanese yen. And then you go invest it in something that pays you high interest, like U.S. bonds. You're basically pocketing the difference.
I mean, it sounds like free money, doesn't it? So what's the catch?
Well, there's a very famous saying about the risk here. It's like picking up coins in front of a steamroller. You can make these small, steady profits for a while. But if the market suddenly turns on you, bam, you get completely flattened. It can all disappear in an instant. And we're not just talking about hedge fund cowboys here. Huge conservative institutions like Taiwan's entire insurance industry, they hold over $700 billion in foreign assets.
In 2024, the cost of just protecting those assets from these wild currency swings got so expensive, it literally wiped out all of their investment profits.
But let's bring it back down to earth. Those same financial forces created what people are calling the cheap Japan effect. The weak yen meant a massive tourism boom for them, but at the exact same time, the super strong dollar made visiting the US so pricey that the country actually ended up with a $50 billion tourism trade deficit.
Okay, so we've traced this ripple all the way from central banks to your vacation plans. What's the big picture here? What do we need to remember?
Well, first, these wild currency swings, they're not some temporary storm. This is the new climate we're living in. Second, they're making economic inequality worse, creating that K-shaped split of winners and losers. And finally, it proves that a decision made in one country can totally change the financial reality for someone living thousands of miles away. Everything is connected.
And that really leaves us with one final thought. In a world where these massive currency waves are just the new normal, understanding them isn't just for economists anymore. It's about figuring out how to swim so you don't sink.